The coaching merry-go-round continues.
As soon as I start talking about my family, I get emotional. And these blokes, you know, they become like your family.
The caretaker wants to make an impression.
Yeah, I thought I'd take it on and, I get 6 weeks to, get back in the saddle and see what happens.
The players need to make an impression. And we've seen this type of response before.
Goes to ground, first to recover, Norton, goal!
While the Dogs have found their dare, 3 wins on the trot has them charging towards September.
They are picking up some momentum here, the Dogs.
Under the dome today, we find out what they stand for. Against an unknown quantity, desperate to make good.
Loney gets around a couple. Talented left footer, he's got it.
Twilight Footy on Fox begins now.
Well, caretaker coaches, they're all the rage in the AFL at the moment. We've seen the success of Rhys Shaw and David Teague. Will it be the same for Brett Ratten? He says he's a little less emotional nowadays about the footy than when he coached at Carlton. Incidentally, he coached his first ever game against St Kilda in round 17, 2007, and his last ever game for Carlton in round 23, 2012. Now he's in charge of the Saints. Jack Nunes was the only player who was playing that day in 2012 who's still with the Saints. Jono.
Yeah, as harsh as it may be, then Alan Richards now is a distant thought in these boys' minds. They've got their 22 players, have got the job at hand, and they're led by Seb Ross. So a big challenge for the St Kilda Footy Club and the Bulldogs in that same breath as well, because they're coming up against a side that will show passion, spirit. We understand that. We've seen it already this year with other clubs. And Caleb Daniel back into the lineup, and they need his run, they need his drive coming off the half-back line, along with Johannisen, because if they get held up in that part of the ground and St Kilda are able to create re-entries and get these guys out of position and put them under pressure when they do exit, it's going to make the Western Bulldogs' day very difficult.
One thing which I think will be interesting is whether the Saints will have that same emotional response. I think there was clear case with Carlton. There's a bit of relief about what had gone on. And with North, it was a strange situation. We saw how emotional that was. It feels like Richo's coached pretty well this year. You can always do better, but for a lot of the year, he's got the best out of it, an injury-depleted team. So how much better they can be, it'll be really interesting to see.
It will be, and we spoke in the pre-game in regards to just that freedom now, because you're in a cycle of, pressures at the club. You're not playing great footy. You've got the losses that bank as well. And so it's just basically a circuit breaker in terms of allowing the players now. This is a new fresh start challenge for them as a group, and you get a little bit of freedom on the back of that, Hutto.
Thanks, guys.
Seb Ross has won the toss, and they'll be kicking to the Lockett end. We might have a look at Josh Bruce, has been in excellent form shortly, but before that, let's get to Nick Del Santo.
Well, Easton, huge game, great opportunity. What's your last message to the boys?
Just going to be talking about how we start the game. We've had a great amount of momentum building this last month, and we want to continue that and really get off to a really good start with that pressure around the ball and really attacking play.
What are you expecting from the Saints? New coach, new style?
I don't know about a new style, but certainly expecting them to throw everything they've got at us. And yeah, look, we'll be ready for it, mate.
All the very best. Thanks.
Cheers.
Thanks to Alan Eastonwood. Gives us the insight into the last thoughts of the Bulldogs. I mentioned Josh Bruce, Jono. He's had a bit of a struggle of a year until about the last month, and he's almost caught Tim Membry with a really good 4 weeks he's put together.
He has, and I think the way that even last week when they played the Cats in that first half, the repeat entries allow this guy to be involved in the game more. It was, and if he didn't mark it, he'd bring it to ground. But once he gets that clear jump at the ball, he's very difficult to beat. But he's been able to beat one-on-ones too, especially when he was positioned in behind. Last week, blitz halves a couple of times, he was able to get that. So the matchup today, whether it is a Trent Gove or whether it is a Cordy, he's got the size to beat these guys on the lead or beat them in the air, depending on how the ball's delivered his way.
Yeah, kicked 6 goals just a couple of weeks ago, and then, as you said, was amongst the goals again last week. So he's in good form. Derm's probably taken a lot of credit since he's been down there.
100%. He is, but you can see the work that he is doing, and it's coming on game day.
So the Bont, what's he got to offer for us today? Aaron Norton, it's been 4 times he's kicked 3 goals or more this year, but other than that, he hasn't kicked any more than 1. So it'll be interesting to see whether he's firing or not, young Aaron Norton. He's certainly impressed.
Good match up there, Billings versus Hunter.
It's good stuff, isn't it? Round 18, St Kilda and the Bulldogs. Perfect commentators alongside me, Brad Johnson and Nick Revolt. Between them, they'll give a very balanced view of today's game. And some of those hard-running midfielders for the Dogs, including McRae, straight into the thick of the action. As we know, Josh Dunkley, 39 disposals last week. Wasn't a career best, 41 was. But 24 of them contested possession. That certainly was a best. Duray gives them the opportunity down there for Norton. Just shut down, but he's able to reopen the door. Caulfield braced himself for what was coming, and that was a tackle. So we'll be looking for early signs, won't we, for the Saints?
Jack Steele moved his way over to Marcus Bontempelli now.
He's been in excellent clamp-down form, hasn't he? Sinclair and Savage, a couple of the Saints that have played every game this year. Lloyd's been an excellent pickup, and Duray handy as well for the Dogs. Gets them to the teeth of goal, and this man always knows where they are. Dixon with the first.
While the entries, they've already had a couple of the Western Bulldogs. This is the high ball coming in, and the way they were able to compete, get that ball and keep it alive, and Dixon was the one who was able to move through the contest. You can see Caulfield there just disappointed with the result on the back of that. They had numbers at the fall of the ball, the Saints. They were just a little bit stagnant once the ball came off hands, and Dixon was able to capitalise.
Caulfield had really good position. There was, well, he was right there in terms of being able to defend. The difference was that Dixon was goal side of him. And as soon as he hesitated for that little moment, Dixon kept moving through the contest. He was never going to catch him.
There they are, Brett Ratten and Luke Beveridge up against each other at senior AFL level for the first time. English and Marshall, as we said, that could be a pivotal battle as well. We've all admired Rowan Marshall's year, but also have noted what a player Tim English could become.
We could be watching this same matchup in 10 years, these two boys.
Marshall gets his hands on that one first and had good support from Billings and Savage. Membry and Cordy, and Crozier arrived at a similar moment. Loney, good tackling from young Langlands, Dalton Langlands.
Hold the ball.
On debut.
Sorry, St Kilda, St Kilda.
I think pointed the wrong way.
Just pointed the wrong way.
Yeah.
Made the right call, just pointed the wrong way.
Should be Langland's kick too, I think.
Yeah.
He laid the tackle.
He laid the tackle.
He ran away.
He'll learn. Billings to the square. Bruce may have just infringed.
Bulldogs. Back to the 9.
The free kick goes to Eastonwood.
Just the positioning of Eastonwood there in front of Bruce. So with the slow ball coming in, the Bulldogs are going to make it difficult as Bruce is the target.
Marshall, powerful in the air. Such a versatile ruckman, isn't he?
Yeah, he's great at ground level as well for a big man.
Bruce fell over, got up, and at least competed. And he, well, I mean, the view of him almost was that he was more a forward ruckman, wasn't it? But he's shown that to not necessarily be the case.
Yeah, recruited as someone that had full craft, so he's really gone the other way. A forward that's now playing more predominant ruck time.
Well, it offers the club a lot, doesn't it, in terms of the future. Thumping kick out of there again, but well positioned with Wilkie. And the kick is flicked out wide and control from Loney. Membry, who, just as Josh Bruce has found form, he's just quietened off a little. Goalless last week. Kicked 4 goals in the last 4 weeks. He's got plenty on that. Down to Bruce. Marshall was there as well. Following away, but it comes off his hands and goes through for a behind.
Easy to defend that entry. It's not in a position where players can run and launch. It's pretty easy for the defensive team to just fist it through there. You almost end up just defending yourself.
Hannison for Crozier. Should have the ups here. Oh, it just got through his fingers. Membry hesitated. And from then he was pretty much lost as Crozier brings it away. Restricted was Dunkley. Sinclair was the tackler. Lloyd was the handballer. And Dunstan is probably playing in career best form at the moment. Caulfield took it from Langlands, and they've worked their way across the middle of the ground. Wilkie. And all the way safely to the wing. Billings keeps it short. So promising build-up here from the Saints. Nunes to fight his way back into the senior team. And some good signs for the Saints with Hunter Clark, hasn't there, in recent times? Career best numbers last week.
Yeah, 25 disposals last week. He's very good player.
Not always the best kick into the 50, judging on that little small sample size. Loney maybe tackled without the footy. And he's going to get a crack at it. Missed a whole chunk of footy after starting the year strongly.
Journey, this might be a little bit of a test for him here.
Jack Nunes just offered up a handball receive. He ignored that.
7 goals, 8 in his 7 games so far this year.
It comes down to what you said before, though, Rui. He's either going to chip this up, or if he doesn't make it, it's going to go goal line and make it easy for the Dogs to get it through.
Goes out wide, which usually means he's testing himself for distance. And in the end, English was the perfect man on guard.
Well called, Jono. So it's really on the player to know your range.
He was obviously right on it then, wasn't he? Dunkley, and this is terrific handball movement out of the Dogs. Great to have Libba back if you're a Bulldogs fan. Dixon from the wing off the left boot. Not the connection he was after, I don't think. Wilkie rounded it up and uses Savage. And the former bomber Carlisle to help him work it out. And Brown back to Savage again. Gresham, good pressure. Wasn't immune to it because it did force a fumble or two. Clark tried to put the reverse on there and get out of there, but he couldn't.
Dunkley gets the kick here, but Taylor Duray and that ability just to continue the chase, put the Saints under pressure, and then he got the support from Dunkley.
Misplaced kick there, and well done to Langlands. Gets across, boy from North Albury via the Murray under-18s. Dunstan just slightly overcooked the kick, but it plays well in the end for Clark to Ross. And this is now a huge opportunity. Inside 50, Billings, and takes it. First goal for the Saints, off the left boot of Jack Billings.
Well, this is what the Bulldogs do when they use the footy. They want to be really deliberate. See the great man.
Hope you had a that start.
So they want to possess the ball, the Bulldogs. And what that does is provide you, if you're on defensively, an opportunity to turn the ball over. They've had a couple goes at it, St Kilda, and really importantly here, they went quick and they went forward. And this is a really clever kick from Seb Ross, just on the outside of the foot to allow Jack Billings to keep moving. If he had to stop and wait for it, then the Bulldogs are going to be able to close.
And that was Langlands in his first game as well. They got across and he started at half-back, but he put the block on for Billings to enable him to break 50 steady and finish nicely.
So a goal each, have been in it for both teams. You can see the Saints have had more of the possession from a marking point of view, and in fact, have had more of the footy in general. They go inside for the 6th time. Good tackling pressure, maybe without the footy, though. That was the problem. Not going to be 50. Slowing down. Parker protesting. York Smith and his share of long-term injuries to fight back from.
Stay behind, Jace.
It's the 5th game for the season. 17th overall. Puts a little move on. Trusts his left boot to get it to half forward. Norton! Oh, the umpire didn't pay it. Bontempelli. Lipinski. You can see the confidence building in that young man. Duray. Caleb Daniel back, always a Dog favourite. High again inside the 50. Off Dale to Johannesen. On one of those searching runs out of defence, that time without the ball until he got into the 50.
He just hesitated. Here's the first fly from Norton up over the top of Marshall. Couldn't claim the grab. Brown did well in that contest. Johannesen, though, breaking 50, had the opportunity just to have a shot at goal. Hesitated. Ball out of play.
No St Kilda ruckman.
No St Kilda ruckman, so Dunkley, the only ruckman there. Need to fix organisation around that. Wilkie to Steele. And that's going to be a free kick. Tag of the jumper. Membry.
That's a great matchup. Membry and Wood.
Yep.
2 of the best vertical leaps in the competition. Explosive athletes.
Patton plays it back. Billy's more of the same to Brown. Let's see if they can affect the switch with any sort of pace. Caulfield. The exits are closing quickly. Patton had to really steel himself to hang on to that one. So we talked about the pace of play and the mark play on percentage to be something to watch. We know earlier in the year it was something they changed from last year through the first 6 weeks with good success. Oh boy, too much on the kick. Patton tried to win it back and he's made a good fist of it as it turns out. So the Dodge one there. Caulfield playing it back. He takes it down the wing. Parker couldn't get there to fly and it fell back into the lap of McRae. He goes searching dangerously in the middle of the ground. It was going to be hard to reach the target there. Bailey Smith gets thrashed to the ground in the tackle.
So early in the game, if you're St Kilda, you'd say, right, if we're on defensively, there's going to be a lot of opportunities here because, again, you see them just really aggressively try to bring the ball back through the middle of the ground.
Lever's back and in a tangle straight away. McRae used Daniels to get to a better position and now does the same with Crozier, who can give it plenty. Shackie's in the frame, the big fist of Carlisle. Now Brown trotting after it with Norton. He's ready to go. Sinclair abruptly onto the left, and there was a rush kick. Duray tried to guard the 50. Played an impasse, and so they could do their work inside the arc.
Just keeping a close eye on Matt Suckling, who came from the ground in the last minute or two complaining of a sore lower back. I also saw him in the warm-up getting some extra attention from the physio. He is back out there playing half forward, so we'll keep a close eye on him.
Textel. English had that to himself. Jammed it on the boot, as you saw. Savage did enough to deny, but the ball was in Bulldogs' hands, not anymore. Billings for Ross wasn't the best service. Does he get the bounce he was after? Well, not really. Crozier appeals, and the umpire says no.
Jackson McRae just had a few turnovers early in this game. He tried to come back into the middle with his by foot earlier, and that one there, he's just on his left side. He had a chance to have a shot at goal. Tried to handball to Hunter with another turnover.
English away from Akers. Gresham able to brush clear. But his kick is ill-directed. And they eventually sort out who's going to go for it and who's not. Trengove settled into a defensive post after a career of a number of years where he was jack of all trades.
Master of...
Oh, I didn't say that. I led you into it, though. Cordy. And here he is. Oh, that curled off the instep a little. He's just within reach of that man. Caulfield on the guide. A little too stationary there. Hine didn't come up to the footy.
Yeah, just a few times Caulfield's just lay off his kicks a little bit. He's a really nice kick, so I want him just to really back his leg and drill him in. Just not give the defender an opportunity to come in and pick it off when you dink it up like that.
So only a goal each. Have almost reached the midpoint of the opening turn. Liberatore is going to be penalised for that. He wants an explanation before he gives the ball back to Dunstan. Fair to say he's not impressed. In the time he's been out of the game, that interpretation has just changed a little bit on the holding the ball. I would suggest as the kick goes forward. Free kick to Easton Wood.
So the Saints look like they're just going to the pocket, just in terms of where they're kicking that ball into when they get those opportunities, just to make it more difficult for the Bulldogs to then obviously get their players at ground level who can transition with speed. So just trying to work it into areas of the ground.
It's 50.
To make it easy for themselves, and this doesn't help. You build pressure, you lock the Bulldogs deep in your forward half of the ground, and you release the pressure.
Duray for Daniel, who made him a target.
Roll off him.
Free against Wilkie as Daniel just taking a little bit of time to recover. Suckling.
Play on! Play on!
Adapted beautifully to the play on call. Here's Lloyd, leading goal kicker for the Bulldogs this year. Career best numbers, 1.7 goals per game. A former Tiger. Plays into the pocket. Dunked it well restricted there. Clark. They prepared to straddle that line, and the Varian kick is good.
Hold there! And stand!
And Ross. That's not a friendly kick down the line. An apology should be sent to Hyde, I suspect, with that kick. Ross goes again. Tries to remedy the situation and succeeds. Hyde almost got set up again. Good enough this time to turn and thump. Saints well stocked here for a mark on the 50. Loney. Maybe the height worked against him a little. Duray outnumbered. Bruce. Still worked tight against that line with Loney. Effective from Dunstan. Centering ball, Membry. Threatening to the top of the square. Mark not paid to Parker. He's going to be particularly upset with that.
It looked like a mark from here, Hutto. It looked like he had first touch on it.
Touched. Was the call.
I understood that it was punched first.
We saw something controversial paid last night in a pretty similar spot.
Saints fans have seen the replay, and surprise, surprise, they don't like it. Tringo. That almost came good for Hyde. Little lunging handballs here because they keep missing the targets, which keeps the Saints interested. From the pocket, Loney, fiendishly difficult position, but he's kicked it.
How good is that from Jack Loney? Let's go back to the free kick that wasn't paid first, and then we can highlight, or the mark that wasn't paid. That's clearly a mark.
Yeah.
Clearly a mark to Parker. So he's unlucky there, but in the end, it didn't matter. Missed handball by Johannesson. Membry cleans it up, and then watch this, sit back and enjoy. Loney one step. Ripper.
Live by the sword, die by the sword when you take those sort of kicks on, don't you? If you miss, you've always got the man at the top of the square with the arms up saying, kick it to me. And as soon as it goes through, they pretend they're celebrating. Hey.
Even if they had 8 blokes on them, they still got their arms up. So you can see where their advantage is starting for the Saints here. They're winning the ground ball. And they're on the scoreboard, winning by 8 points, and they're hungry for more. Parker feels like he's owed one. He's not having his way down there. But snatched. Open goal presents, and Membry's going to be the man to finish it off. Gresham with the assist, Membry with the goal, and the Saints are all over the Bulldogs. And the caretaker coach phenomenon continues.
Yeah, and they're playing with good spirit, but gee, Matty Parker, great contest.
What about Gresham into the middle? He hits McRae hard. He took the legs out, so lucky they get one back there, the Saints, in terms of free kick against from Gresham. But then look at him come back into the contest. His work rate's high.
What about the pass?
I don't know about the pass, but anyway, it worked out in the end. But Gresham hard off the back of the square and then got back inside forward 50.
Hold.
Good contest from Parker. Out of position just to bring the ball to ground.
All of a sudden, the Saints lead slips out to 14 points. And they're all over the Bulldogs at the moment.
Well, they're doing really well in the clearances and the contested possession. The Saints, they're on top in those 2 particular areas. We know how important they are. And an area in the last 5 weeks they've been really poor at is the contested possession.
They're about to get another clearance then, and they still might. Gresham to Bruce, and back again. They're going to work across the ground before making the entry. Loney's been really busy so far. Deep again. Plays for Membry, not quite. Smith, Nunes.
You can see there, Tim Membry, he's a 2-foot jumper. You'd love to see a little bit of angle on the kick. Plenty of niggle between the brutes.
There is. I'm going to just throw it up here. 30 metres out. Bulldogs defence under all sorts of stresses at the moment. The non-controlling umpire, the out-of-zone man,
Loney again
has plucked out a free to Loney.
So, yeah, Bontempelli, I think, was the one that just got him high. Which is not hard to do.
Don't be high, please, Nick.
Jack, that's your line. Nutsy, mate.
So, his career was certainly been questioned towards the end of last year. He was able to finish off the year strongly, stay at the Saints. Injury has interrupted this year, but he's a very, very important part of the forward line when it's up and running, and when he is, and he kicks the goal. He's kicked a beauty from the boundary and one from in front now, and they lead by 20 points. And first quarters have been a real issue for St Kilda this year. They've only won 4, I think, for the year.
Probably a little bit unlucky there, Bontempelli. The shoulder shrug, initiating the contact, but
7 disposals at 80% and 2 goals for Loney. It's a fair start under a new coach.
So the emotional response is there, isn't it?
Yep.
The last 4 goals and a lead of 20 points. Liberatore trying to turn the tables at least a little bit before the break. Hunter Clark wants to keep it going all one way. Still plenty of time in this opening term as well. Just over 6.5 minutes left on the clock.
Good contest from Crozier. Just opened himself up. When that ball's hanging high in the air like that, you've got to jump and attack it. You're pretty vulnerable in the ribs.
Clark took the initiative. He's going to get the free kick.
It's a good call, Hutto. You nailed it. Took the initiative, and that's what they've done right across the ground, the Saints, in the early part of this game.
A little untidy for Caulfield.
I don't know whether that's necessary, though. I know they're trying to hold possession of the ball, but just that little chip there, they had all their numbers down the line.
Might be a little
50
bit
metres.
Housemates just waxing.
Brett Ratten said he's going to be a little bit less emotional. Time will tell whether that's the case. He's already, despite the fact his team's leading by 20 points, showing some signs in the box. Billings settles. Take long to contemplate. Clark goes along this time. He can fly Membry. Decides not to. Turn defender. There was Bulldogs really swelling around the footy. Indiscriminate kick though. Wilkie got involved in the clean-up. Sinclair eventually, after the load-up, it was Clark. Again, it was scrappy. Parker almost. Bailey Dale. Now Crozier. Suddenly the intent is to get it out of there and get them moving the other way. But Marshall with an opportunity, which he takes. Keeps it low into the 50. A little bit of after it at that too. Is it against Hunter? It is, yep. Nod of approval from the Saints fans.
They're very happy at the moment.
He's going to kick his 3rd goal here, Jack Layton. He doesn't need to run.
No, I think it's just because the goal square was open and there was no Bulldog player around. I think he was just looking to trot in and kick one from the goal line, but he has to get set here.
3 goals in a wonderful first quarter for Jack Loney and 5 for the Saints, and it's not over yet.
Well, off the back of that long kick out from the Western Bulldogs. So there's the block to allow Crozier to release, but that ball comes straight back in because 2v2, but then the ground level players are all St Kilda. Smart by Marshall, and then took the mark and taken to ground. You can't do that. 50 metres against. I think he was claiming that the kick didn't go far enough there, Lockie Hunter, so he went through with the tackle.
It's great composure from Marshall not to blaze away there, because he's got that journey, and he's a thumping kick.
Yep.
Well, we've got celebrity supporters from both sides, haven't we?
Plenty of star power at the Dogs and the Saints.
Yeah. It's worked well for you, Ray. Dunkley out towards the wing. Liberatore for Smith.
Great hands.
Kept it low, Rourke Smith, and Lipinski didn't hang on long enough. Great follow-up from Caulfield. Fed back by Duray. Dunkley. Shaki and Lloyd both made their moves. Lloyd, I think, unrealistic or a push. Goes to Carlisle. Tries to turn defence into attacking mode quickly and succeeds. Clark to Marshall. Spotted Gresham. He got away, and there's 2 closer to goal, and their opponent's deep. Akers! No. Loney for his 4th goal.
Oh. Wow, Loney's just absolutely on fire. Everything's falling his way. He's putting himself in the position, though, for that to happen. And that,
I'll tell you what, Bevo's on fire too, John, in a different way.
Signed the new deal during the week as well.
How often does that happen to when the coach gets an extension, the team loses? at the moment.
Well,
Clark.
They're just creating turnovers, St Kilda, and being able to go back inside 50 to really uncontested players.
14-7 inside 50s so far.
15 seconds,
So 14 inside 50s for... This will be their 9th scoring shot.
Thanks, Rowan.
And his 9th disposal in the first quarter. Hasn't kicked a goal this year, Hunter Clark, until now. David Roden gives the nod for their 6th consecutive goal.
Oh, they've kept David Roden busy, that's for sure. And Hunter Clark absolutely flushes this one.
And again, it's off turnover. So clever from Billings to be able to turn and look at the game quickly. Not just blast it inside 50, but actually be able to spot up a kick. Because you know off turnover, you're going to have players off their men. And already 4 goals, 3 off turnover for St Kilda, 7 scoring shots.
Well, they're dominating this game both collectively and individually at the moment. Hunter Clark, 9 disposals and a goal. He's up there in the rankings so far. We've got 4 of the top 5. Jack Loney with his 3 goals and almost 4. Sits atop, and it's out to 33 points. And there's still 4 minutes remaining in the opening tournament. Could still expand the way they're playing. Gresham waited for the traffic. It's passed now. High ball, Bruce looms. Rourke Smith to try and stop him, but he couldn't.
Another sensational kick coming forward from St Kilda. The time and space, though, Gresham, who I think has been very good in this quarter, 8 disposals, but just his power run has really exposed the Bulldogs on transition a couple of times.
Yep.
We've talked about how poor their first quarters have been. They've had this done to them several times. Oh, Josh Bruce just lets them down with that kick. Got to make hay while...
Yeah, definitely the last 2 now, with Loney missing an easy one with his standards, and that one there, exactly the same for Josh Bruce.
Both sides know all about inaccurate kicking. For the Saints, it's more in general play than set shots these days. Dogs the worst in the comp. It's been something they've been around about for the last 3 or 4 seasons. Couple of great tackles, though, making it really difficult for the Bulldogs to get out of their defensive half.
Roll off.
They're going to continue to try to play their way, the Bulldogs, but equal numbers in front of the ball. I think just with the way the game's going, just a little bit of surge, just start getting it on the boot and getting it going your way.
Marshall to Gresham. It's shaping for Akers. Loney doubling back to the goal square, but Akers is a decent kick. And, well, he thought he could kick it, but he's going to kick to a man who can definitely make the distance.
Well, Josh Bruce did well then. He led to that space where the ball ended up, but then he didn't get it. He didn't just stand there and argue because he was on. He got out of the way, and it opened up the hole again, which Savage was able to run into.
That's your line. Mark's here, 15 gone.
Former Hawk, Shane Savage. 158th game, just 2 goals, 3 this year, but played plenty of footy up in the front half for Hawthorn, so knows his way around goal. It's 3 blemishes late in the quarter for St Kilda. Could have been a whole lot better or worse, depending on your viewpoint.
The concern for the Dogs there with the last 2 clearances, it's been Gresham, one of their most dangerous players, sneaking out the back and just getting it uncontested. So need to just clamp down.
Opportunity to get all the way through here. Had 2 out the back, but it's taken a little longer, even though the progression is good now. They have to come up, and Lloyd takes the mark, but instead of potentially being within range, he has to kick it one more time. Again, indiscriminate kick, falls well short of the mark. Dogs are off their tucker in this opening turn. Sinclair feeding it back. Caulfield got out of a jam and did it well. Dunstan to Sinclair, up to the wing. Bruce with a physical impact again. And Loney turns tackler on Caleb Daniel.
I think the noticeable difference for St Kilda early is they're holding their forwards in front of the ball. So when they do win it back in the defensive part of the ground, well, then they've got numbers to play through.
Yeah, even now, memory's staying inside the forward 50, even though the ball's a long way away. And
well, they're plus 35 in disposals, St Kilda, but It's been good football, though. It's been proactive. They're winning around the contest. They're spreading with speed. And the plus 35 isn't just slow around the arcs. It's penetrating, and it's giving them great opportunity.
The Bulldogs can't get to quarter time quick enough to try and reset. But they wouldn't mind snatching a goal before then. McRae, he missed the mark. Hunter. Rocky Hunter has had just 2 disposals in this opening term. It's clearly the Saints' best first quarter this year. Hunter. Oh, Dixon, he started the game with a goal, but not going to get one here. And the Saints come away through Caulfield again. And then Loney, Akers are taken out of it successfully by Wood. He'll want it back, Easton Wood. 10 seconds on the clock, one last opportunity, which almost slipped away. And it might by virtue of the short pass.
Let him go now, let him go, Shane.
Oh, as he played on there, the umpire called it.
Played on.
Yep.
Nothing going the Bulldogs' way. After they kicked the first goal of the game, they watched St Kilda kick the next 5. 6-5-41 to 1 straight 6. And the mud.
The caretaker effect is taking effect at St Kilda. They have dominated the first term against the Western Bulldogs under Brett Ratten. The Dogs kicked the first goal of the clash, but then the Saints went on to kick the next 6 in their best first quarter for the year. Loney has kicked 3, Billings, Membry and Clark also hitting the scoreboard, and they lead by 35 points, Nick Del Santo. It's thanks largely to their dominance in getting the football.
Absolutely, they've controlled the game, and the way that they've controlled it with their clearance numbers, they're +6 in that particular area. And another part of their game, the contested possession, they've been really poor, one of the worst in the competition over the last 5 weeks. They're dominating that, they're +7 in that particular area as well. So they've got the game on their terms. When they've got the ball in their hands, they're controlling with their ball use, going forward, going wide. And when they've got the amount of opportunities they had going forward inside 50, they're always going to score, going at 69% efficient, which is through the roof for the Saints. The other thing that they're doing really well, Jonesy, they've got control of Marcus Bontempelli. Jack Steele has gone to him. He's just had the 2 disposals in the first quarter. They've controlled him. They've controlled the contest.
Yeah, the Doggies superstar has been quiet, Anthony Hudson. We'll see if the Saints can keep it up.
Yes, we will. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Bulldogs' response has been. Brett Ratten's a hero instantly amongst the Saints fans.
Getting a cheer already, running up to the coach's box. Hunter's the other one for the Bulldogs with only 3, and Aaron Norton's had 1 look at it with 1 disposal. So they're down in a lot of areas at the moment on the Bulldogs. On the back of, though, St Kilda's great play in that first quarter.
What did you see, Rui?
Well, exactly really what we thought the Dogs were going to try to do. How they play is how they play, but they just turn the footy over far too often. So kicking efficiency of 52% invited St Kilda to create opportunities, and really for the first time this year they were able to capitalise them on an alarming rate. So Del mentioned the efficiency going inside 50. That's the reason they've been able to open up such a commanding lead on the scoreboard.
Second term from Marvel Stadium. It is the Saints by 35 points after their best opening quarter of the season. English tried to play it Bontempelli's way. Dunkley been restricted, but is able to release the handball to Rourke Smith, and he was needed a second time to get it to Bontempelli. Shaki got a run at it. Carlisle had his measure. English tried to play the soft touch, but it ends up going to Saints. But look at the surge mentality amongst them too. Back to Clark after Gresham started it. Parker and Crozier were tangled, and it falls a little short. Caleb Daniel back through the middle. McRae turned instinctively onto his left and then got awkward and have to kick off his right. Gobbled up by Savage. Parker. And now Clark. He had time to contemplate. Maybe needed a bit more time.
See that last kick of McRae, though, he brought the pressure on himself by wanting to go and roll really quickly.
1 metre, back! Hold!
Hayden Crozier.
So what would Luke Beveridge have said at quarter time, John? Would it have been keep going for your game, or let's just control
no,
the
I think he
footy
would have put it completely on the midfield group, because they were outworked in that first quarter. Dal was spot on around the contest where they were well beaten. They were beaten on spread from the contest. So you go straight to the mids to get this game back on track.
Saints have won 4 and lost 4 at this venue this year. The only top 8 team they have beaten in their 6 wins is Essendon. That was a long time ago now, and they started the year so strongly. They don't play another top 8 side from here through to the end of the year as it stands at the moment.
Well, that creates a big opportunity for Brett Ratten.
But it's so tight, isn't it?
And the players.
Amongst those teams that are fighting it out, so there's not too many easy games. Bontempelli. Quick kick from Norton. Sit the top of the square. Is that going to go through? It is, and it's Bailey Dale. Back in the team this week. Played 3 games in the mid part of the year after coming back from a long-term injury. Didn't really take his chance, but he takes his chance there.
Yeah, he does. He's a smart player, Bailey Dale, and you can see there, just understood the situation he was in to keep the ball, not take possession of the ball and just keep it going. He gets just a toe to it, but enough to push it through. And Marcus Bontempelli's been involved a couple of times already. As mentioned, he only had 2 disposals in the first quarter. He's already had a couple of inside 50s in this quarter, so important to their movement.
And he's taken the initiative to actually just kick long, to clear the area and get it inside 50 and put the St Kilda defenders under a little bit of pressure, unlike the pinpoint stuff we saw in the first quarter that was creating turnovers.
English powerfully thrashes that forward. Big change in this game all of a sudden. Bontempelli once, tried to go a second time. He gets help. McRae, Dunkley. Clark battering it back the other way. English against Gresham. A real size mismatch. Daniel plays it back. Suckling was going to be taken down straight away. Had to get rid of it anyway, possibly could. Dunkley. English. Oh, questionable advantage there from the Bulldogs, and it goes over them.
Well, they still took the advantage. You've got to hit the target. And they missed it again, the Western Bulldogs. Head clash there. At least it would have been absorbed a little bit.
Helmet probably did them both a favour.
Yes.
Marshall went with the grab and release. It didn't work. Hine takes them up into the middle of the ground. Good strength shown by Bruce. And Loney is off towards the goal square. He just didn't quite see him in time to release it to him, so it's a tougher build-up, but it still ends well with Parker 35 metres out from goal.
It does. If only Bruce was a right footer, then Loney would have got that 100%. He turned left, and in the end, they were still able to work it out with good movement.
There was a no right turn area, Jono.
Yes, it was.
So Parker played all the games this year, bar one, which has been a great feat for the mature-aged recruit, 23 years of age, from South Fremantle. 14 goals, 11. He's packed some terrific highlights into his year. That's a standard goal, but one he's still pretty emotional about.
Sometimes the willingness or the desire to help your teammates can actually get you in a little bit of trouble. So Easton Wood, he goes back to provide a little bit of assistance. They think they're going to hand over the Bulldogs players, but Parker just continues to track inside 50, ducks back at the leg, and you can see no one takes responsibility for him. He ends up uncontested all by himself. So you want to do the right thing as a teammate sometimes. Other times the best thing to do is just to take care of the man you're meant to be defending.
Okay, Daniel with the blood rule. In good hands there, Jono.
Yeah, Gary Zimmerman as well, and this is the head trainer, both with a truckload of experience.
Doesn't matter which club you play. I think everyone, whether they know him or not, knows who Gary Zimmerman is.
Yes.
Cult hero.
He is. He'd love that too, Luke.
Exasperating. Jackson McRae gets to his feet. So goal each in this second turn. Bulldogs re-energised. Shaki almost grabs the Bontempelli kick. Bailey Smith went searching and he found Bont. Back to the square. Norton's got it. Was there a hole or a block? It whatever it was, it's ticked off. And Norton got free run at the footy.
Well, he was involved in the first contest, and because they were able to manufacture a repeat entry, the Bulldogs on this occasion, he was able to burst forward Norton to put himself in a secondary marking position.
As we mentioned, 8 have been all or nothing this year. 4 times he's kicked 3 goals or more, including the memorable bag of 5 against Richmond. But that is a regrettable kick from Aaron Norton.
Well, it's deflating because the mids have lifted their rating, giving the forwards more entries, more looks at it. You've got to kick those goals.
Bruce was coming one way, Cordy the other. Emphatic spoil. Became an attacking play for the Bulldogs quickly. Smith to Tory Dixon. Is he just on the outside of his range here?
I think so, Hutto. You'd think he'd look to, if he can't find the short, just put it to a spot. English is down there, Norton up against some big guys as well in Carlisle, Brown and Marshall.
So he's giving us the sign that he can kick it. Let's see if he follows through. He did. He followed right through the middle. And how important is being able to kick accurately, and particularly from that sort of length. Great goal from Tory Dixon.
It's a great finish. Tell you what, this spoil here, that's as good as a kick, because what it actually does, you see Billings there get trapped under the ball. It cleared the whole wave of St Kilda crummers, and all of a sudden they were all offside. It was Bulldogs small forwards out the back. Created an opportunity. That's a great finish.
He's one of the best, isn't he, in terms of accuracy?
He is, because his action's so compact and uncomplicated. So that was probably a little bit unnatural in terms of his action.
Full capacity was out there, wasn't he? Full stretch, but he still landed it nonetheless. So the Dogs have already scored more in the second quarter than they did in the first. Second goal for Tory Dixon was a beauty. Shaki takes his turn in the ruck against Marshall. Dunkley tried to make the clear move out of the middle. He got some good help. Liberatore sent Bontempelli on his way. Deep probing ball. The Saints appeared to have it covered. As it turns out, Lloyd can get into his move. Feeds it back to Dixon. It wasn't necessarily the right call. It was a crowded forward 50. Dixon was well restrained.
Well, noticeable difference this quarter. So Bontempelli, 6 kicks, 5 inside 50s. Yeah. So he's actually penetrating for the Dogs with his legs.
Sinclair up against it. Kick blindly, and it's going to go to Hunters.
And the game's being played in the Bulldogs' half as a result, rather than inviting the turnover through the midfield.
Norton comes at the kicker, but he goes over his head. He's able to back in and still make a contest of it. Norton. And the goalkeeper, in effect there, Savage, did his job. So it is a different game all of a sudden. Margin sits at 27. Savage barely the required. Brown gives it back. Now they've reached almost the wing. Tough for Marshall against 2 Dogs. Dunstan, they thread it back initially. And now the kick's on its way wide. Effective from Clark to Ross.
Dogs have got plenty of numbers behind the ball now, so Ross will have to be patient here. Took the risk, paid off.
Heart and mouth for a few there.
Yeah, it was.
Watching. Caulfield. Working the City side, this time through Carlisle. Back for his 5th game after a long-term injury. Jack Carlisle. This is the youngster, Langlands. That's an up and under. Marshall. Dixon, a long way from home, but still effective. Cordy had the luxury of a bit of time to get ball to boot. Lloyd makes a great competition of it and takes the mark. Now is at 50. Play on. Liberatore. Next link was apparent. He shunned Lipinski. Kicks it long instead. Smith waiting at the back. Dale had an impact. Oh, they rushed it. They had the resources there to get a goal between them.
They did, but again, you can see the deep entry, just the pressure that puts the defence under. get your defender turned around and running back towards goal. It's not a comfortable feeling, one that they enjoy.
Dunkley, again, was called upon to do the ruck duties. Dunstan, it's touched. Duray, well done by Membry. Created that for Bruce. And now Akers. And they're at full stretch again through the middles. He gets it back. Akers covering plenty of territory. And guess who's on the line? It's Gresham.
I'm glad he got that, Gresham, because he was out for an eternity. And they kept handballing, and then Akers ran to 50, and I thought he was having a shot.
Well, the bounce put him under pressure.
It did.
He almost missed the moment.
And that'll really hurt the Dogs. 2 entries this quarter for the Saints, 2 goals.
It was good transition off half-back, though, with starting with Bruce, and he was strong in the contest, and away they went. So it's this one here. Great memory it was in the contest. Bruce comes through the contest, and then off they go. Gresham is out.
Yeah, he's out now, so it was an ugly bounce too. So if he had have looked up and pulled the trigger straight away, it would have been a little bit more comfortable. He's been able to find a bit of space today, Jade Gresham. He's one player when you come up against St Kilda, you really want to be able to clamp down on if you can. He's up to 11. Billings, the other player, up to 11, both with a goal.
14 goals for the season for Jade Gresham. Less goals this year, but more footy.
But they're kicking at 71% too, the Saints, where the Dogs are at 57, so use by foot's a lot more effective.
English stabs it wide for Hunter. Lloyd, he's covering a lot of territory right now.
He leads well with the footy. Just a natural forward. Obviously couldn't squeeze his way into a pretty powerful Tigers outfit.
They filled the 50. English was the tallest target, and he wraps his hands around it, and there's nothing the Saints can do.
Tim, that's your line? Yeah. Tim, that's it.
Margin back at 33.
Well, the Bulldogs are getting lippy with Carlisle there, so we'll see on the replay what impact he didn't have in the contest.
So the big green pole ruckman from 35 metres out makes no mistake.
All clear.
And it's a much better Bulldogs outfit in the second quarter. There's significant damage already been done in the game. But it is back to 27 points, and it's a bit more manageable than where it was looking.
Where he comes from too, Tim English. So he was in the centre square when that ball was marked by Lloyd, but just pushed inside, got himself to a dangerous position, realised he had the mismatch on Sinclair. Sinclair looks around and thinks, where's our big man? So the ability to sneak forward, kick a goal as a ruckman, very valuable. You've got to put yourself in the position first, and he did that.
Marshall off the ground at the moment. So Josh Bruce taking his turn in the ruck. As we said, this game being played on the Bulldogs' turn in this second quarter, but the Saints' ability to go forward and kick 2 goals means the damage has been limited.
9 inside 50s to 2.
English again actually gets it down. Smith's kick was shut down by Dunstan. And then Lipinski came into the scene.
Well, it's 9-21 in contested possessions the Bulldogs way this quarter, so that's where the turnaround in the way that they're playing their football has come, and that's what we're talking about, Roos, starting in the midfield.
Yeah, you said the midfielders run to the pump, so Bonapelli, Dunkley and McRae, they're the ones getting it done.
Good spoil, Brown, Lloyd, ever dangerous. Just eased the kick back towards Dixon. He tried to get up. Sinclair there to match. Hunter. And hard for the umpire to make a decisive call on that one. Not so hard for a few Saints fans to make a decisive call behind the goals. Plenty to shout about today. They lead by 27 points, but in defensive mode right now. Carlisle, a clever tap. Sinclair. Oh. In the end, he played it smart. He allowed himself to be taken over the boundary line. It's a great shot of modern-day footy, isn't it? So many numbers, well, everyone basically within a kick of the play, and that's not necessarily makes for great football all the time. No one's quite sure what to do about it. McRae plays it back for Hunter. To the square again. They continue to threaten. Slightly astray. Mentioned before the Saints' record in first quarters this year. It's been poor, but their second quarters have been very good. Carlisle takes the mark.
Just something new under a new coach. Just reverse it.
Reverse it. 11 second quarters for the year. And consider they've only won 6 games. It's been their best part of the match.
Just hate this when a team, you've got a mark on the half-back flank, and you want to maintain possession, but you end up manned up back in the square where you started.
That's right. You chip it all the way back to a position to not a known kicker either in Brown, that is just it's no purpose in that. You might as well go long from your half-back to half-forward, put it out of play there. At least you're in a scoring position again. So
by all means go for the switch, and coaches encourage that, but if you're going to be held up, the player you're kicking it to is going to be held up, well then down the line's a better option.
English hands were smart. McRae got capsized to ground. Carlisle went strong at the footy that time. He's got a free kick. Angst around it last time, but the former Bomber has it. Irons darting. Really on the mark, so got an extra yard or two, but still couldn't clear Tim English's head, and he's been paid the mark. So just a little holding pattern here for the moment. Still being played very much in the forward half for the Western Bulldogs. English submits and kicks long. Carlisle led with a fist that time. Lipinski crafts a little kick, and speaking of crafty, Sam Lloyd looking for 50. Doesn't get it.
That's a clever kick. Shaped like he was going to just try to score it around to the top of the square.
And he moves around, left foot. Just didn't quite get it off the boot in the perfect position. Patton has the honours from full back. Plays the City side. It was an unusual kick because it left Liberatore in a one-on-one battle. He was always going to be outsized there with Akers. But he just kindly hands it straight back to Tim English.
Bontempelli back on for the Dogs. He's had about a 5-minute break. He's been standing on the bench trying to get back on. Ball's been on the outer side.
He tried his hardest to return the favour. His 6th disposal for the quarter. English, he went short to a one-on-one. Well, actually, it was a 1-on-2 against in the end. And the Saints click into action. Ross will give the handball back to Savage. The build-up is good. Crozier work the angles, but the Saints are well stocked. Hind into the goal square. Another one's coming up for the Saints. They're deadly on every entry at the moment, as Membry is going to make it 3 goals from 3 entries in this quarter.
Jack Loney just had to do everything possible to just create a contest, and he did such a fantastic job against a couple of Bulldogs defenders to bring it to ground.
So this is ruthless efficiency from the Saints so far in the second quarter, and it's enabling to keep this lead.
Yeah, well, 2 in a row. Tim English went short to 50-50s and just invited the turnover. So the ball's been living in their half of the ground. St Kilda's defence has looked under pressure. We're well advised, a number of midfielders getting over to him at the moment. He's playing really well. He's playing a good game, but just poor decision-making on that occasion. It's a clever little pass, easy to blaze away in that situation. And 3 inside 50s for 3 goals. Bulldogs dominating possession, contested possession, clearances inside 50s, but not on the scoreboard this quarter. Doesn't reflect the dominance.
Dunkley out to the wing. Chases on, Liberatore and Ross. Both fully committed. Suckling knows the boundaries there. They got a little bit of a shove after it went over, and the apology came very quickly. Down to you, Del.
Aaron Norton has just come from the ground. They appear to be looking at his hand. They've just gone down into the race. They're going to take him down to the rooms for further assessment.
That's obviously a concern for the Bulldogs in terms of their goal-kicking firepower. Marshall, Steele and Dunkley. Dunkley has managed 7 disposals in this quarter, but only 1 kick.
High contact, St Kilda. Straight back to him.
And free kick. He's going to steal.
Hold. Play on.
Oh, Wood knocked it down. Gresham ever dangerous. Billings surrounded. Marshall takes his turn, trying to find a way out. Failed in the end. McRae. Wilkie to try and defend Bontempelli. Never an easy prospect, but he does it and does it well. Steele, and now he gets involved again, Wilkie, with a wobbly entry. Oh, McRae, he had the wobbles. Nunes was left standing. Loney's searching for another. And the Bulldogs found a way to mess that up again. And it could cost them a goal. It does! And look at them get around him. Scenes reminiscent from training. This time he had the chance, Langlands, and he didn't let it down when it really mattered. That's why Brett Ratten gave him the chance.
Great call, Otto. Great call. It's an unusual way to get your first game. Coach gives you the opportunity to have a set shot. You're in if you kick it, but a couple opportunities there, the Dogs, to just take the relieving mark in there to defensive 50. McRae first and then Johannesson. That's a good feeling.
It was.
Great feeling.
Sharp too, because he had to be quick in getting that ball to foot.
He didn't have to think about that one.
Well, this is getting ridiculous now for the Bulldogs, isn't it? 5 entries for the quarter, but 4 goals for St Kilda. And you can see their efficiency. That's the sort of numbers. You win by 20 goals, you keep that up. Good signs at least down there, Dell, that Norton's back on the bench.
Yeah, we'll just keep an eye on him, Hutto. He has come back up, doesn't appear to have any strapping on that hand, but we'll keep a close eye.
Suckling forced back, but is able to get the kick away to Duray. Bontempelli, his 7th of the quarter. Rourke Smith got a Fennigan shoving it back, an old-fashioned one. He's got the free. Takes it wider to Hunter.
Like a pop-up sprinkler there, Hunter. No one saw him.
Hiding in the
dark. There he was.
Shaki hasn't been a factor so far. He's deep. He shortened the kick a little, and I think it was meant for English, but Carlisle read the play and read it well. Experienced defender Jake Carlisle. Saints lead. Game high 37 points now. Caleb Daniel, Cordy, Suckling, all forced to defend as much as they could. There's a bit of debris left behind that. Clash too, with the Bont and Wood both suffering. It's going to be a Bulldogs free out of all of it. Suckling. Nothing ahead really was to his liking. So they're just being pinned back a little in this manoeuvre, and there was the opening, and it's taken by Hunter Clark. He had a quick survey of what was ahead, and he thought he might go for broke, but maybe he was trying to get it to Josh Bruce.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah. I think he was just trying to put it in his path.
He just didn't have the swing on it. He left it a little bit skinny, so just needed to get more towards the goal square to allow Bruce the clear run onto the ball.
Again, you see that possession game. If you get it wrong, Easton Wood had the ball here. He could have just about put it inside 50.
Caleb Daniel. That's a good spot out wide for Rourke Smith. Bursting run from Crozier. Enabled Lloyd to get a crack at it with Marshall. English arrived at the perfect time. Lipinski channels the ball for Bontempelli. I think he's dropped it. It's just not happening for the Bulldogs today.
It was the wrong option. Rocky Hunter was 10 metres out from goal, directly in front. They had the outnumber there. The Bulldogs just picked the wrong bloke to pass it to.
Dunkley again forced to ruck and rove. And kick it behind.
Their midfield have definitely gotten going in this second term. The Western Bulldogs, English, Dunkley and McRae, all with 8 each. Bontempelli 7. Big clearance numbers too.
Clark again. Plays it safe. Caulfield from Billings and then Patton. Brown. Sebros. Sinclair on offer at centre-half back, decides to play it laterally and more conservatively than that. They lead by 37 points. Good lead to protect really with 3 minutes to go until half-time. Don't have to be too defensive, but certainly don't want to do anything stupid. So it's going to be interesting to see what Beveridge comes up with.
See the shot there of Gresham playing as a really deep forward.
I like that.
That's a noticeable change.
I really like that. I like when those plays are called, where you keep players in those positions to compete forward of the ball.
Well, it asks the question, doesn't it, of the defence. He came up to take it on the 50. Loney, oh, they crashed down. More Saints left standing than Bulldogs. Nunes wears one. Johannesson. .242 to go. Almost every time they've gone forward in this quarter, they've been able to get a clean shot at goal. Is that another one from Hunter Clark?
Wow.
Well, this is incredible, isn't it, really? Clubs are going to be just sacking their coach for fun the way this is going. 43 points is the margin.
Starting to see, though, what Hunter Clark can deliver.
And we've seen that a bit in the last 6 weeks.
We have, but it's just, and you're right, it's been a little bit inconsistent until this point, but he looks more comfortable out there. He looks more physical in the game. And it's just moments like that where...
And he's up the ground a bit more.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what, because he's a great kick of the football. So it's just been last week, he had 25, 16 already today with 2 goals on the board.
Yeah, early in the season, a lot of supporters sort of asking, where was he?
Yeah.
Get a spot in the team. Which isn't always a bad thing.
No.
Make a player earn their spot. Plenty to work on back at VFL level, and might be seeing the dividends for that.
How many games of VFL did you play, Roo, to work on your craft?
Just a couple.
McRae to half forward, and there's a free plucked out of this one, and it's going St Kilda's way.
Did play VFL reserves though, one of those.
Did you?
Yeah.
Would have been a shock to the system.
It was 18.
They've kicked the last 3 here. Marshall finds Caulfield. Same draft, same top 10 draft as Hunter Clark. He spent even more time in the VFL.
My first year, Hutto, Terry Wallace said that he would have dropped me from the VFL as it was, but he had nowhere to drop me to, so I had to keep playing me.
Holding, Bulldogs, Matthew Suckling.
The Bulldogs plucked out that time.
Grab him by the front of the jumper.
Against time.
Move it on, play on!
Just paralysed a bit at the moment. Suckling kicks to centre half forward. English got fingertips to it. Patton, there's Clark. Dab hand at the moment. Great touch out wide for Billings. Just change the pace a bit. Ooh, back to Patton. Caulfield, Patton. Dunstan.
3 minutes now, though, the Saints have been able to do this for. So you called it, Hutto, 3 minutes 15 to go. It was all around, just not letting the Bulldogs score. And
just as you say that.
Just as we say that, they pull a kick into the corridor.
It almost came good for Steele, but he walked into a tackle.
Which was totally away from everything they'd done over 3 minutes of football from Dunstan.
Suckling slaps it forward. They come from every angle, literally. Shaki made a good fist of it just to make the ball come loose, but The next phase was well handled by the Saints defence, and Nathan Brown gets the plaudits from his teammates.
The importance of the first give too, so still had Akers in his vision, chose not to give, and he was under pressure.
Shacky reflexes were excellent. It's going to be a throw-in rather than a behind, so that's a positive. Shacky, that's his first disposal of the game. Had 8 games this year, first 4 in the last 4. On the throw, drop short, Dixon, Bailey Dale, McRae comes across, Suckling, and that'll do as far as the Saints are concerned. The Bulldogs' effort was better in the second quarter, but the return was not there to show. The Saints continuing to dominate this game on the scoreboard. A game which has had a bit of feeling right from the start, and that's the way it stays at the break at half-time. St Kilda's lead is 43 points. 11-6-72 to 4-5-29.
Hunter Clark 18 and 2 goals, Dunstan 14, Billings very good as well, 13 and 1. It's the midfield where the Bulldogs tried to rectify it in the second quarter, Hutto.
Let's get down to Sarah Jones and Nick Del Santo.
So the margin was 30.
What a first half from the Saints. They kicked 11 goals in their total of 72 points, already better than 10 of their totals for the season in 4 quarter matches. So a real scoring flourish, and it would put them on the live ladder up to 28 points with their 7th win. Their percentage still a long way, but what that means for the Bulldogs, if they were to win, they're right in touch, only the percentage outside Adelaide in 9th. If they lose, it makes it all the more difficult, Jono.
Bontempelli 2 disposals in the first quarter. He had 8 in the second, really got them going with 6 inside 50s as well. And there's a little bit of a wrestle going on in the Bulldogs forward line. McRae had 18.
It's on, boys.
Not just a little bit of a wrestle.
There we go, it's on now.
Free kick. Thanks, guys.
When we say it's on, it's not 1970s
no,
on, but
it's not.
It's on for the modern game.
Jake's got 2 in hand down there.
Save it. Save it.
This is where it all sort of started, just into Norton.
Oh, this is like the 1985 grand final, 84 grand final revisited.
Tom, Aaron, let it go. 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 Unacceptable. Let it go. I'll pay for you. It's not careful.
So he still wasn't ready for the bounce anyway. Everyone got into position a little bit early. Fans are practicing getting passionate ahead of the third quarter. The margin is 43 points.
First minute, boys.
These are the worst 2 sides at kicking goals this year as far as accuracy goes, but nothing wrong with what they've given us so far. 11-6 to 4-5. Can the Saints keep it going under Brett Ratten for the first time? They lead by 43 points heading into this third term. English, good service for Lipinski, and Lloyd got ahead of the play. Curls it back, tough for Bailey Dale. Norton comes, but he's matched well by Brown. McRae, all straight lines towards goal. Norton, a chance to assess, but still fluffed his lines.
Cool opportunity for Norton there. They target him at the start of this quarter. They're into him again, trying to put that physical pressure on him. If he nailed that, he's got one to go back at him with. It would have lifted some spirit as well for the Western Bulldogs.
One of the stars of the first half. Equal highest possession winner on the ground, Hunter Clark. Wood again emphatic with the fist. Gets them to Bailey Dale at 50. He ignored the lead from Lloyd, went to the square, and where's the whistle going here? Dixon's kicked a goal, and it's paid.
And now they go after Carlisle. There was the one that initiated the go at Norton.
Positions, please. Positions. Positions.
So kick the first one of the game like that, Tory Dixon gets the first one of the third quarter exactly the same way, the front and square, getting behind the contest, took the advantage and kicked the goal.
The Bulldogs crowd up and about, they were already pretty fired up before a ball was bounced in this quarter. Still plenty going on down there between the players. Musical instruments, yeah.
First blood of the third quarter. for the Western Bulldogs. Marshall does it on his own steam. Gresham, it's the Saints' turn to thrust forward. They were so efficient in the second term. Let's see if that trend continues. Akers, Parker, and great persistence by Wood. Wouldn't let him go. And there was no free kick paid. Easton Wood is asking for an explanation.
Parker got a handball away.
Okay. Tackle went a long time.
Yeah, it did.
A couple of great defensive actions there. Firstly, Easton Wood, that was a great chase. Parker, we know, is quick. And then Gresham to push inside 50 and later tackle.
Back alive again. Spectacular effort from Dunstan. Doesn't miss by much.
Thank you. Clear it out, guys. Clear it out.
6 clearances for Dunstan. Found plenty of the footy in that first half.
Dogs go wide. He was touched, as you heard. Disrupted off the boot. Crozier just past the pressure. The Saints relentless so far today. That one fell well short. Dale got them surging again. Lipinski to English. Lloyd is on the path back to goal. Instead,
it's going to be a free kick to Marcus Bontempelli. He's being held.
The advantage is paid and taken. Dynamic Dogs that time. Bailey Dale puts it through for another goal. And a real change in the feel over this ground.
Well, the umpire noticed it, called the free kick against Bookie on the hold on Bontempelli, but good call, Hutto, in terms of Dale taking the advantage from that. They're kicking a nice goal, and it's that turnover transition the Bulldogs are able to work through effectively on this occasion.
It was just a direct path, wasn't it, really? Yeah. There was no crabbing sideways there. They just shape as such a dangerous opponent, the Western Bulldogs, and they're always in the contest because of the explosive way with which they're able to move the footy and score.
2 goals to Bailey Dale. English, the Dogs mean business. You can see that. Free kick, it's going their way again.
Bontempelli's playing as a permanent forward coming out of the goal square. He's now matched up by Carlisle.
Lloyd has already gone on a searching lead and had to retreat all the way back again because they were just held up a bit. So McRae spotted a man that was well and truly loose. Crozier, we know he can launch deep into the pocket. Norton, a one-on-one with Brown. He did well defensively. Got him where he wanted to. Caulfield. And all that hair gets taken over the line. And the margin sits at 32. Dunkley again. Couple of not too tall ruckmen down there. Steele, they wobble it back to the wing. Bruce just crashed through. Membry, clever handball. Parker chases on. Duray and Loney couldn't commit too far because Loney got completely taken down and maybe taken out.
It was clean.
That's going to take a bit to recover from.
Just great attack on the footy. I think it was English that ran through him.
Now McRae.
That's what you want from your ruckman, that sort of contest. Make your presence known.
Just pick on someone on your own side.
Yeah.
Looks to be okay, Loney.
Meantime goes short. Duray can deposit this one. Deep to goal to Bontempelli. Carlisle successful with the fist away. Dunstan and Wood met. Dunstan won the day. Gresham, and they can set up through Patton to Akers. And out wide. Parker in pursuit. Hunter can't stop him. Goes for Membry. He quickly looks up to see where Josh Bruce had got to, but now settles things down to take the shot. And this is what they were able to do, wasn't it, in the second term when the Dogs were able to start getting on top around the contest. The Saints were still able to go forward and convert opportunities. So let's see if that's going to continue here. Goals have been harder to come by, as we said, in the last month or so for Tim Membry. What a wonderful player he's been since coming across from the Swans. 2 goals already this afternoon. Suddenly this feels important despite the 32-point lead. Oh, emphatic response from the Saints and Tim Membry.
Absolutely flush there from Membry. We'll take it back a minute or so to where the big contest, Jack Loney, the ball set up with Tim English. They both just come through the contest. That's the oval ball for you. It looks like it's going to bounce away. It pops up and Loney's caught underneath it. And this, the transition from the Saints. That handball there from Akers was really important, under pressure, but he got it out in front of Parker, allowed him to use his wheels and get going. And it was a nice kick inside 50 to Membry, and he's made the smart decision, go back steady and have the shot at goal. Big finish, good celebration too. The Saints fans are pumped.
It is a beautiful kick. Had some issues last year with accuracy, but he's got a nice technique. That was an important one, just to arrest the momentum a little.
Sinclair getting a start in the middle. Bruce Trengove took care of that. Suckling, barely a handball. Same applied for Geray. Dunkley able to wind his way through and out. Crozier snaps into action. Brown again, he had Norton's measure, just his strength and experience. Sinclair cops it though from Norton, the frustration, earns himself a free. Quick with the hands, Dunkley again. Rourke Smith had his back to goal, he turns quickly, fired it in, you can take your pick, and well, Libber's worn one there, and he's okay, and Lloyd is going to get the shot at the sticks.
Great work from Aaron Norton, so that can be a bit of a spark for him now. Out of position, almost outmarked, but good follow-up to be able to lay the tackle, and that's more like it from the Dogs.
Good service from Smith. Lloyd comes in, he's worked it back, perfect shape, it's a goal. We're not going to go away here. That's the indication we're getting at the start of the third quarter. And Lloyd joins that club of kicking a goal, then coming straight to the bench.
Actually seen a pretty good game of footy, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
It's moving up and down the ground. Plenty of opportunities for both teams to be able to score. So in terms of a spectacle...
Well, the Dogs have to be desperate that way because they've got to try and bridge the gap, which was 43 points at half-time. It's back to 32 now. So they're on the charge, but St Kilda, when they get the ball on transition and turnover, they look like they're going to score as well. So I think we're in for a bit of a shootout here in the second half.
I just need to bridge that gap, just get it down to sort of the 4-goal margin and then really put some pressure on the St Kilda team.
Sinclair again rushes the kick out on the wing. Langland's in a duel and a run against Hunter. Nunes joins the party. And they'll go tumbling over. Let's get down to Dell.
I've just watched Cordy come from the ground. Looks very sore. He's one of a couple of players. The other one is Suckling, who still looks to be sore from even pre-game with that lower back. So he's just going to jump on the bike here. You can see one of their physios just giving a few medications. So expect him to be able to come back on the ground shortly.
Marshall holds sway there. Slams it inside. Bruce was coming. Dogs on the counter. Suckling was able to wade his way back, and then out the other side. Crozier has been important for them to giving them that drive. Norton has a little mini victory this time.
Well, he did because of the matchup, and that's Brown's got his measure in the one-on-one contest at the moment because of his bigger body. When he gets that mismatch, he'll mark it every time.
It's just his second mark of the day. Long kick, they're outnumbered deep. Lipinski fought the good fight. Ross ran into a Liberatore tackle. Now Savage has got his issues. Hunter left him splayed out. Langlands goes a bit of a wander. The pressure starts to build. The footy's won by Liberatore. They decide to go out before they go in. Dunkley off the right boot to the square. Shaki is comprehensively outpointed by Carlisle.
Yeah, Shaki and Norton, when it's a long kick in one-on-one and they don't have room to move or leverage to be able to outmaneuver their opponents, they look like they're going to get beaten.
That kick was all of 7.5
easily.
So ideally now Shaki's got to get Carlisle on the move, try and lead on him. Same with Norton on Brown.
Sinclair, that's a powerful ball into the middle. Some possibilities for Langland. He was able to work the handball. And on the end of it, Nunes, they got through. Steele's kick was perfect for Nunes. And he can go back and should convert here.
They got out the back, Hutto, because they just outrun the Western Bulldogs defenders in terms of that will to get in behind. Nick Del Santo said it at half-time in terms of sort of a soccer setup. Once the ball looks like it's getting onside, they're gone as a collective group. And Bruce was up on the wing. You can see him in behind Nunes there. So they did work hard to get to that position in behind the Bulldogs' defence.
So Jack Nunes take the lead out, back to 38 points. Flirted with the post, but it's through. And the Saints continue to rack the goals up.
It's where they're getting their shots as well, Hutto, which has been really impressive today. They're in that zone pretty much between point post to point post, and the transition here is completely through work rate. And that's how they were able to get themselves back in behind the defence. They weren't sitting there. They were up on the wing, Nunes and Bruce, and they worked hard to get back to that spot.
See the frustrations growing for Luke Beveridge. Dogs have now been inside 53 more times in the day. Saints 28 entries for 20 scores.
Well, this is the reason why. It's the position that they're taking their shots from. You mentioned it, Jono. Everything is from the corridor, a lot close in, so that obviously helps the accuracy as well, which has been an issue for St Kilda this year.
Hunter read the play. Geray, opportunity here for Smith. Dale. The Bont leads back to the square. Never arrived in his vicinity. Instead, it's Wilkie who's just done an excellent job this year.
He really has, yeah. A mature age recruit. And he's sort of played that role that Dylan Robertson has been so important in playing over the past few seasons. The ability to intercept, the cool head, uses it really well. So it's been a great story this year for the Saints.
Akers. Shut down, Hine. Now he's copping it. Billings was waiting on the outside. Suckling got to a bit of a standstill and a standoff and thought, yep, I'll just get over the line.
Robertson's been a huge loss this year. Certainly everyone hoping he can get back out there at some stage.
Hunter, Dale couldn't get the run of it. Billings fully committed, well done Dale. Bruce the next to cop it from Bontempelli, who clings on for dear life. So the Saints 13-7, 85. They're one of 3 teams in the competition who haven't cracked a century this year. Gold Coast and Hawthorn are the other team.
Okay.
Despite the fact the Hawks are back in form. Crozier over the top, but couldn't drag it down. Cordy. And out wide, Lipinski. And the stepping stones appear. He's got Shaki. Oh, he didn't take it on. Much easier from here, of course, to see the way forward than it is when you're in the heat of battle. But they are going the long way home. Although with kicks like Crozier and Suckling, it doesn't take as long as it might otherwise. To Hunter. They still haven't managed to breach the grid, though, at this stage. This will help. Back in the middle with Bontempelli and a couple of arms up long, deep in the square. Shaki competes. Oh, Bruce on the last line. Unfamiliar territory for him, although he did start as a defender. Stays in with Carlisle. Billings. They just stay ahead of the game by hand. And now by foot. It was clever from Clark, and Ross just senses.
It's interesting watching Josh Shaki with his movement. Everything's backwards first. He's a come-at-it type player. That's where he excelled as a young man before being drafted.
Dunkley, possession 24. Suckling, hands quick enough, but again they're being shunted back. That was almost a free kick downfield, except the problem was the kick went backwards, so not quite sure how you apply that in that case. Basically went with the advantage in the end. Tory Dixon shakes it off. Takes it wide. Dale Already kicked a couple of goals. Lloyd. Smith, the leader, takes it and turns. Johannesson screaming for it. 35 metres out from goal. Identified and found, but again, great resolve back there by the Saints defence. Free kick is for holding the ball. And Akers. Got the better of Bontempelli and now sends it wide to Ross.
And this has been a highlight of the Saints game today, the way they've been able to bring the ball off their half-back flank. They don't want to kick it long down the line. They want to find the short option. But what they have done is gone extremely wide, played the boundary line.
Embry and Bruce, both there. Hine comes with a rush. Billings was the go-to man, but he waited and maybe found a better option, although Dunstan might beg to differ now. He was a real target.
Tremendous courage.
Yeah, it was good
both
stuff from
players.
both, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Crozier read it really well, so he knew if he came off, he had to impact because he'd left a player out the back that was going to be able to walk in and kick a goal, so it's really good defensive action.
Dunstan didn't flinch. 38 points between them right now. Time will become an issue soon for the Bulldogs. Norton well up the field. Smith keeps it going and then going and out of bounds on the full. Let's get back to you, Nick.
Well, Django's just come from the ground. He was helped by the head physio. That's Chris Bell on the left and Zimmerman on the right. So he's in the hands of the doctors and the physio, just having a conversation about that left hip as it appears.
Dunkley slapdash might turn out okay. Lloyd just let it get away from him. He recovers smartly. Lipinski got the call from Johannesson, playing up the ground a bit more now. Smith, Bontempelli must make this count. I don't think he was on the same wavelength as Dixon. He was going to run back to goal. And again, they came up short.
That's my point with Shaki as well, in terms of when the Bulldogs go forward, all their forwards are running back. They need to be in that position earlier so that they can come back at the kicker. That's the style. That's what suits those type of players.
No rush for the Saints right now. 38-point lead sounds very good indeed. English, McRae, Suckling. They find a way to get it to half forward. Can they get it beyond? That won't help. Brown had to wait a moment. Johannesson was bearing down, but again, the hands are good enough to hold the danger at bay. Wilkie's sent it out to the wing, the peculiarity of the bounce. Shaki, good release. Lipinski gobbled it up. Now the Dogs can come. Can Wood mount a serious challenge? It's high, they're set. And Bailey Dale, he claimed the mark. Umpire didn't think so. Dixon. That expertise around the sticks counts again, and they won't go away, the Dogs.
Well, the error the Saints made in the air was that all three went up in the marking contest against one Western Bulldog, which was he got Bailey Dale, all three in the air. Dale did well to keep his feet, but there's Dixon just all by himself at the contest. He's kicked all three goals that way today, so an error there by the Saints that was capitalised on by the Western Bulldogs.
Goal square, please, guys.
And that man Dixon now has 4 goals out of the Bulldogs' 8.
Okay, rucks over.
Ben Graham doesn't look particularly happy down there on the bench. Here's the injury in the ribs.
See the Bulldogs' kicking efficiency was bumped right up to 84% in this third quarter, so no surprise that when they have gone forward, they've been far more efficient. Their ability to score.
Now, what have we got going on here?
Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, roll it up. Go. Okay, lads, let's go.
Numbers are right, so we can get back into it.
Wow, great
Pressure.
shot.
Takes it and sends it deep again. Probing ball for Bruce. Duray did well to impact the contest, but Loney's deadly dangerous. Back to the square. Sinclair couldn't rise off his man. Johannesson knew what was coming his way there. Takes one for the team. Marshall Gets an unexpected second go at it. Billings.
He flushed it,
didn't he? Marshall, though, his last couple of contests, a good tap in the centre bounce. The secondary stoppage in the forward 50, too strong for Shaki. Took possession, good handball out to Billings.
Eastonwood, English and Dale are both there. English the hand to it, and he turned tackler on Savage, but scrapped to kick forward. McRae's got that covered.
Gutsy. Knew the contact was coming.
24th disposal on the horizon here from McRae. Back into the D50 to Cordy. Off the left boot. And they're thinking, why?
Didn't get the distance he required then. St Kilda off the left.
And Shaki's just having that sort of day. Just the 2 possessions. Gets a little run on the ruck. He's out by about 10 metres and your teammate misses you. So you just want a nice little cheap one up in the midfield just to get yourself going.
Marshall the tap. Saints pushing backwards, but maintain possession still for Savage. And he's weighted that kick just a fraction too strong. Wood, Smith, Suckling. Take your pick of dogs out there. Dunkley away, back to the skipper. Shaki this time. Hugs in the chest mark. That opportunity most welcome. He's going to get 50 here.
It was Shane Savage who just went into that area. He tried to get out in the end, but he just got too close to Josh Shaki.
Back on.
So, straight kicking, an imperative right now for the Bulldogs as they try and mount their charge. They've been able to get to about here, but no closer. This to within 27 points. No problems for Josh Shaki. Suddenly, he's a part of the day. He hits the scoreboard. His first goal, the Bulldogs' 9th, and it's 27 points in it. It's as close as they've been since midway through the second term.
So because he's up the ground, he loses the matchup. You can see there it was English with Carlisle this time, and he was just floating across as the ruckman. Almost uncontested, and Shane Savage into the protected area.
He tried to do everything that they're asked to do, though, in Shane Savage. He didn't keep going along the line. He tried to get out of the way, but...
Who's the bigger name there, John?
Oh, that's hard to split. Hemsworth.
He's not even the most famous Hemsworth.
Doesn't matter.
Marshall, out of the middle. Nunes made provisions for a bad bounce, but he couldn't stop. That's going to be a free kick now to Caleb Daniel. Toppled over. Advantage taken and leveraged by Hunter to centre half forward to Lloyd. Didn't take the mark, still in it against Patton. They're scrapping. They're back to the Bulldogs of old. Trying to take territory. Akers stands up strongly for the Saints. And it just feels like we've got ourselves a ball game again. 27 points, still a significant advantage. But the Dogs are pressing here. Saints have to be resolute.
Yeah, late one here, and just start to twitch at three-quarter time a little bit.
The twitch factor, really. McRae. And no way out of there for Taylor Duray. Dunkley with 27 disposals and 15 contested possessions. And come close to those amazing numbers from last week. Saints holding sway around the contest here at an important moment. They can get to the outside where Parker loves the freedom. But you wouldn't know it from that kick. Cordy went by hand. Probably a wise decision this time. Eastonwood. He tried to cut out the middleman. He went long down the line, and that was to the favour of Patton, who eyes off something in the middle. It was Marshall. The Dogs are onto it. Scooped up by the Liberatore through the middle. Shaki's got some run, some vim, some vigour. He's got Lloyd. He's got the goals, and the Dogs are a-coming. Woof, woof, Jono. They're back in it.
That's the turnovers, though, that's off St Kilda that are allowing the Bulldogs to capitalise, and it was a bad turnover in the middle of the ground. The Dogs were away. They had numbers in the corridor. And Liberatore had composure with the ball, which was really important. You can see here the kick inside just got nowhere near the target of Marshall, and then the composure of Liberatore, but he had numbers to choose from. Shackie's had some good moments in the last couple of minutes, and Lloyd loves a goal, good finisher.
Up and about the Doggies now,
aren't they?
Yep. He's from Portland, that man. He's been to a lot of games.
What's his name, Jono? So, sorry.
Hold the man!
Out of the middle, free kick advantage. They're storming forward again. Dunkley, Lloyd, ready and waiting for another. Still in the play. Well done, Akers. And Marshall posts up. And besides, there was enough space to go. Searching for Bruce. Membry's held his ground deep inside 50. Saints on the move. Dunstan, high ball. Can Daniel defend? Not on this occasion. Good, staunch grab.
Gary Hinks is his name.
And the kick comes in from Newlands. Well done, Jono.
out of nowhere.
And Akers.
Gee, that was good.
Quick play off back to Savage. Was it a good move or not? I'd say not now. Caleb Daniels. Daniel just averted the danger. And up steps Marshall again. A minute 54 remaining.
Blake Hakers has that kick in him. He has the journey in him. And all you do is handball to a player under pressure. I don't get it.
Shackie. He shows what this means to him. It comes a bit of a cropper.
And it's on the player receiving the ball as well. So if you're looking ahead and you can see the pressure is going to be there, you shouldn't be calling for it.
This is the thing here, though. Shackie's that sore and not with it that he can't take the ruck.
So Marshall just grabs it. His kick was smothered. Membry waiting on the outside. Still, as always.
Trouble.
Right in the thick of it. No, the umpire left it bubbling along.
Josh Shackie's in a lot of trouble out here.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's got the blood nose.
They should call for the blood rule because they're going to be a man down now. He might get a possession here if he's not careful.
Oh, he's going to get it. No, see.
Oh, he's out.
No. At all.
Well, the umpire really should recognise that. It's not really his position to do so.
No, that's right.
He's going to go back in it again. He couldn't find the ball for 2.5 quarters. Now he can't avoid it. Clark steps through. Hind had a look. And now the Dogs get some assistance out for Josh Shackie.
Pretty much be day's end, you'd think, for Josh Shackie.
Well, you're the doctor now, are you, Jono?
No, I'm not, but he didn't look great coming off the ground. He wasn't with it at all, even that secondary hit.
Easton Wood. Good grab, isn't it? Oh, he's hurt himself too.
And Shackie's going to go straight down to the rooms. He's wobbling. He's being supported down into the Dogs' change rooms.
Right. 30 seconds. Will they press and have a crack here? Will they be content to get within 22 points? Or now it's not up to them. I guess the same question could be asked of St Kilda. Will they have a last go or just preserve this margin? Wilkes. Oh, came close to a late steal, a nerve-wracking time perhaps there. Patton out wide. And the siren sounds. A fascinating quarter. The Dogs finally got going. They kicked 6 straight for the turn to 2-3, and we're set for a big last quarter. 22 points is the margin. The Saints were brilliant in the first quarter. Have they set up a victory under Brett Ratten? Or can the Dogs come storming home and keep their charge for September? Keep it going right here and now at Marvel Stadium. We're back with you shortly. Well, what a day and what a game to finish off round 18 after a 7-year gap. Brett Ratten back in charge, this time of the Saints. What changes would he make? And what would the team do in response? We got the answer quickly. 6 goals in the first quarter, 6-5. Jack Loney kicked 3 of them. Dalton Langland's dobbed his first. And the Saints were up and about and excited about footy again. There was a bit of argy-bargy, a physical encounter all day, in fact, at the start of the third quarter, and Loney found all about that when he was in the wrong place at the wrong time against Big Tim English. And finally, the Bulldogs got going. They rolled through 6 goals in the third quarter. Lloyd second, gives them hope. It's a 22-point margin as we get set for a big last quarter. Sarah Jones and Nick Del Santo.
Thanks, Hutto. The Western Bulldogs are one of 4 teams locked on 32 points, sitting just a game outside the 8. Nick Del Santo, there is little margin for error in their run home. How do they win this today?
Well, there were some signs in that third quarter, Jonesy, which I was really impressed with, being the Dogs. They kicked their 6 goals, but it was their run-off half-back. So I love the initial pressure on the ball carry, but as soon as there was a turnover, they were off to the races. They're the #1 team that can bring the ball from their defensive 50 into their forward 50. Just look at this overlap. They've still got run in their legs. They finish off games really well. I'm going to name 2 players. Johannesson and Daniel had 1 kick between them in that third quarter. If they are to win, those 2 particular players off the halfback flank are going to have a huge last quarter.
And you've got an update on Shaki.
Shaki just down in the rooms doing a concussion test, so we know he went off late in that third quarter. It's a minimum of 20 minutes, so we'll see if he is right to take his place in this last quarter.
Hutto, up to you for a big final term.
Thank you, Sarah. What do they need to do to win this one? Well, first of all, the Bulldogs and then St Kilda.
Well, the Bulldogs got to get it right in the middle of the ground now because Tim English has gone forward. We know Shaki's off, so they're going with Trengove to start in the ruck for the Bulldogs. So he needs to get the job done against Marshall, who had a couple of really important hits to advantage and stoppage clearances in that third quarter.
Last quarter begins with a perfect bounce. Trengove now in the ruck. Akers heaves it forward. Bruce, big leap. Loney fought through. Rolled one forward. Easton Wood copped it once, copped it twice. Found a way out. All Cordy, all thumbs. Johannesson and Nunes.
How good was Easton Wood in that contest? Because if the ball spilled out, it was going to fall right in the lap of the St Kilda player. He was outnumbered 2v1. So the strength, first of all, to be able to just hold onto the footy and then break the tackle.
Trengove got the tap. Marshall almost got the footy. Oh, Suckling, it was tunnel ball stuff. He was nutmegged and didn't turn out to be as costly as it might have Gresham.
And for the Saints, Hutto, you said earlier they hadn't kicked 100 this year. They got to get to 100 to win this game. Can't go into the shell. It's only a couple of goals away. Got to make sure they reach the ton today.
Well, what's happened again is a familiar tale. They started to miss shots at goal too. We were saying earlier how accurate they were. It's 13-10 now. We're going to get another shot, a tight shot nonetheless from the boundary. So does Jack Loney take this on or look to lay off? He's had a big day. 16 disposals, 3 goals, 1. He made the angle a little better, but doesn't turn out to his advantage.
There's going to be opportunities here. We saw that last kick from Matt Suckling, just how bold that was to pull the ball across his body into the corridor. So they're going to be going for those kicks because they've got to obviously bridge the gap and present some chances.
Duray just eased it out to Easton Wood, who's been in excellent form.
Great kick.
With or without the footy. His 20th disposal coming up. There's Josh Shaki. He still looks a little worse for wear.
Back row normally means day done.
Yeah. Just trying to confirm your own diagnosis there, Jono. I like it. Back to the wing, Marshall, steal, and his eyes up the wrong way. Now he's didn't want to be like Ben Cunnington and kick it to the opposition. Instead, it's surging the Saints. Langlands flicks the hand pass inside. Delicate operation there for Gresham, and he's done it successfully. Loney again.
Wow, it's everywhere.
Not sure why English would start forward in this last quarter, coming off three-quarter time for the Western Bulldogs.
Up
against Marshall, who's had another good day, but he's been involved 3 times, Marshall, in stopping what the Western Bulldogs are doing. You'd think if English was his direct opponent, that he might be able to halve a little bit more just because of his size.
He's having a massive day, Marshall, again.
Yeah.
20 possessions, 14 contested.
So, an appreciably better angle, a little closer, and a worse kick. And that is lucky to register a score.
3 goals. He could have had a massive day, Loney. You know, another one touched on the line, so 7 shots. And kicked the hardest of the lot.
Play on, play on, play on!
Some indecision from Duray, and as a result, it's going to come back his way.
He was stuck with the old rules there.
He was.
Yeah, Nathan Brown, but quickly to get it off by hand. Billings, the setup kick. They come from every angle. Liberatore doesn't get it done. Cordy, it was too quick for Duray. Gets thrust around and shunted to ground. Sinclair, a drop kick, won't do it. Free kick going to the Dogs.
Back in straight to him, Luke! Try that on, play on.
Oh, everyone could see that about to occur. Poor old Lockie Hunter, there wasn't much he could do. Well played, Nathan Brown.
He's had a good game, Nathan Brown. He's been good in the one-on-one contests. Worked across here, straight the spoil, keep it in there, forward half of the ground.
Marshall allowed to have his way with that again. The tap down to Steele. Akers.
Gone.
Yeah,
dragged it in.
Dunkley wants to move it.
Hold there now.
Anytime you take possession like that when you're on the ground, you're going to be under pressure to dispose of it.
Crows, they get themselves organised.
Hold it.
Istanwood had Cordy out the other side. Decides not to go with that. And the last minute he makes an abrupt move down the middle. 2 bounces. That'll help the situation. The kick not perfect. It settles with Suckling, wrong-sided. A tough dance to take for the Dogs along the line, but brilliant from Lloyd. Suckling keeps coming into the 50. Here, English and Marshall, they met 40 metres out from goal. Marshall won the little battle. It's not over yet, though. Caulfield gets it out. Some respite for the Saints.
He's hurt, Marshall, though, English.
Yeah, doesn't look too stable.
Well, it was courageous going back with the flight into the hole when he copped a big knee.
Well done, Cordy. Saints keep coming. It's good from Langlands and then Sinclair, and now Hine. And Steele kept on going, and he takes the mark, and there's one more part of this play, and it's Jack Loney. And surely this time, he can make good.
That's your line, straight back from that.
Important little touch from Langlands, wasn't it?
It was. Loney, who started in spectacular fashion with 3 goals in the first quarter, has proceeded to miss 4 consecutive times. But he'll enjoy this one. 4 goals for Jack Loney. And the Saints getting closer to 100 points for the first time in over a year.
Go to the contest on centre wing, Roo, and this is where it unfolded for St Kilda in such a positive way, with Sinclair up against Rourke Smith for a 50-50 ball. And Sinclair just wanted it right there. Was that Langlands actually, was it? I thought it was Sinclair got the receive. Okay, so Langlands, first gamer, just with that pace through the ball, a big win for his team. So well done to him, and set up this goal. If he didn't win that ball, Loney wouldn't have kicked this goal.
This is important too. English was going to mark that one uncontested, so paid the price for it, but gee, his teammate will be grateful.
And the job just became ever more difficult for the Western Bulldogs. They've got to kick at least 5 goals. There's a bit of Clark Keating about that, just smashed the centre-half forward. Unfortunately, it's not going to count.
He's a temper specialist,
Clark
Keating.
Ilya Griggins.
Ilya Griggins. Rod Blake about it, out of the middle. Dunkley takes it out wide. Hind settles with Billings. And now, Seb Ross. So Saints just getting this game back on their terms, at least for a short period of play. Billings again. His 23rd disposal coming up.
Haven't been as clean today, the Dogs. Again, they had an opportunity to clear that centre clearance and just a fumble at the wrong time, a missed handball.
Back to Hunter, but you could see the... Wires were crossed completely, and it might end okay for the Bulldogs. They can make an advancement along the wing. Smith takes it, didn't like anything on the horizon. And did he get ball to boot? Well, advantage anyway is going to be taken by Gresham. It's deep. Choice position is with Josh Bruce. Cordy's done as much as he could, but he's given away the free. And Blake Beveridge knows this is going to be just about it. If he kicks straight here. And they all get around Nathan Brown. As you said, he's been an excellent contributor today. And
there's just a little bit going on with Bailey Smith post the tackle that he laid.
Through it goes. It's a 6-goal buffer for St Kilda. Reason to smile.
St Kilda players got into Bailey Smith after the turnover. He looks up and he's actually got numbers in front of the ball, one-on-ones, but just that's not the way they play. They want to be able to possess, get a player really free of pressure, bring it back through the corridor, and as they've done all day, when it looks good, it looks really good. But if you're on defensively, it's going to provide you with some chances. And Pink holding the ball. Good look for the forwards.
Well, the Saints have scored 68% of the time they've gone inside 50 today. And that's the best for the season. Richmond recorded 61% a couple of weeks ago against the Gold Coast. It's phenomenal, really, isn't it? Sinclair going back before they go forward. Johannesson, the man Dale mentioned, is that had more of an impact on this game. Oh! You going to pay it?
Yep.
And he pays it to Wilkie.
Yeah, real fine, Wilkie.
Now with Caulfield. Akers. No rush. Marshall back out there, gave Inglis a bit of a shove, but Inglis refused to be moved into the bont. Back they go, pumping ball forward. Fly from Norton.
Great crumb.
Smith was outstanding. Hunter thought about all the possible options. An unusual looking kick almost resulted in a goal.
How do you produce a kick like that?
Play on! Decipher, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hunter Clark to Wilkie. Bit by bit, they're on the way out. Hunter Clark, 24 disposals, one short of his career best from last week. Almost 500 metres gained for the young Saint.
Clark, Billings, Marshall, all names at the top of the possession tally for the Saints. In a year that has provided a lot of challenges, that's something to get excited about.
And the Saints have cracked the century for the first time since round 17 last year.
Been a lot of that today.
Backed it up though.
Marshall, beautifully directed tap. Dunstan. Thank goodness for Easton Wood if you're a Bulldogs fan. Oh, it's in the back.
Good decision. He just fell in late.
That's Seb Ross. McRae crafts his 28th disposal. Caleb Daniel. Easton Wood getting up the ground now. See, he had that hankering to handball to Johannesson at any cost. And what will the cost be? Well, might be okay in the end. Johannesson again skips forward. Tory Dixon's got 4 already. Couldn't handle that one. Carlisle made him wear one also. The hands are good this time. Smith to the square. And the other Smith will take the mark. From Bailey to Rourke.
So Rourke Smith's had 10 disposals today. This is his first shot at goal.
That's it. 15 gone. Mark's here, okay?
And if they harbour any hopes, this one has to go through. The Bulldogs fans will remember the Carlton game where it looked like it was all over. And back and forth and back and forth. So who knows at this venue with the 666 rule. Do you like it? Do you like a mullet?
Oh, from one to another.
Yeah. What's the plural? Is it mullet?
Mullets. That's a good kick from Bailey Smith, who has got the mullet for charity. I do understand he will cut it off at the end of the year. I'm not sure about Rourke Smith. And the big injury, though, was to Josh Shackey in the third quarter. He went for a big spoil in the back half of the ground across here and just hits the ground and knees himself in the head. So that's how he got the blood nose and off with concussion. He didn't look great after this, though.
So amazing, isn't it? Bulldogs have been inside 4 more times and yet find themselves 31 points behind. The Bont on the move again. High ball, Saints have got an extra there. It works to their advantage. And to Akers, he wanted it back. Didn't, but no matter. Caulfield. And Savage. The club extended his contract by a year recently as well. It's been a handy pick-up for them. Just as I say that, he gives a little present across to Bailey Dale. And to Dunkley, that was a little sloppy.
Yeah, worked back hard, Savage, to fix it up.
And Bevo can't watch.
No.
He's not going to tempt fate there. No. Last it as long as he can.
Akers got through to Gresham. Nunes is on his way back to goal. Oh, it's gone. What was that? Okay, so it was a soccer setup. That's what it was. It was the head to the striker, and it just went wide.
It's not quite enough penetration on the kick from Gresham.
Get out of that one. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before, John.
No. Or called one that way before.
No. Delicate little operation in the middle. I'm not sure we ever actually marked that. But anyway, it's been paid. He's curled that one to perfection. Who better than Tory Dixon? Oh, well, maybe 17 other blokes as it turned out. Some tired boys out there now. Marshall takes it to Steele. He was missed when he was out of a team for his defensive work as much as anything. Gresham.
Tom Ho! Go Sam Ho! East West.
So 32 points, 8 minutes. And Eddie, the Dogs have been able to take a couple of those opportunities in the last 2 minutes or so. It would still just be sitting on the edge a fraction.
Jack Steele, he's done another great job today, going to Bontempelli. Just 15 touches for Bontempelli.
Yeah, and the Bonts had 9 inside 50s, but so much has been rushed, hasn't it?
Well, 8 of those possessions came in the second quarter and 5 inside 50, so they came in a rush. But he's done the job against Steele.
Yep, Lipinski to Dale. He clings on.
A good stretch. He's bodied up.
Given them an extra dimension up forward today, like looking for his 3rd goal.
He's got the smarts. He just needs to get some consistency in his performance, in his body as well.
You sort of wonder where he's going to play. Maybe this is going to be his spot.
Yep.
We've seen him in defence and up on the wing over the time. This for his 3rd goal. Needs to go through for the Bulldogs. Looked a good shape off the boot, comes back sweetly. And who knows, 26 points. 7 minutes.
4 goals for Tory Dixon, 3 for Bailey Dale today, so they've certainly done their job for the Western Bulldogs to this part of the game. Lloyd's got 2 as well, so the smalls have been able to control, the talls haven't been able to get away from Carlisle or Nathan Brown or Wilkie throughout the day, who have been great defenders for the St Kilda Footy Club. What I've also liked about the Saints, Roo, is over the year you look and players will have 30, 35 disposals, but the Saints will lose by 20 to 40 points. Today, the #1 possession winner is Billings with 25. They've had 28 scoring shots kicked, 15 goals.
It's been a good spread.
Yep.
Push, advantage.
Oh, advantage was going the Bulldogs' way. Lipinski, everyone's trying to work out what went on, but they have to set their gaze forward. Smith got through one. Libba couldn't do the same. Brown was not going to be denied that time. Advantage paid and taken immediately. That sums it up really as far as the Bulldogs are concerned. They've threatened at times to get enough scoreboard pressure, but they just haven't been able to get the completion on enough pace.
Norton usually wraps those up.
Yep.
Hold there, Ken. Play on.
Wilkie. Akers. 21st disposal coming up for Blake Akers. Oh, it's not a pretty sight. Straight back to Easton Wood, to Bontempelli. The urgency's still there. High ball from Duray. Not going to be easy to mark. Natural ups from Norton. Dale again gets involved. Caulfield knew they were coming for him. Oh, Patton got a bit of a half coat hanger.
Yep, free kicks paid.
Duray just saying he was spoiling it.
Well, he did. He punched the ball and took his opponent's head with it.
Patton down the line. Trengove try to punch to advantage. Dunstan there and Steele. Ross didn't have anywhere left to turn and he's cooked. No huge amount of opportunity. Bontempelli looking to laugh the handball. Stegwick short. Lipinski, move it again. Suckling shapes it back to the square. It was too tall for English, and that's saying something. Carlisle didn't want it. Gave it to Brown. You can clear it, and he's done it well.
How would you like that sort of entry as a forward, Jono?
It was unusual from Matthew Suckling when he actually had people in his vision that he could have just kicked on the lead.
Langlands, they love him. Kicks it forward. Loney in the wrestle with Duray. Here's Tim Membry. And there is Seb Ross. And that one goes into the pocket.
It got to Billings. I'm not sure whether it was meant for Billings.
I was looking towards the goal, I would say.
It looked like a shot.
Well, very fortunate. Jack Billings had actually just come on the ground as well and snuck all the way around the edge of the boundary and just popped up at the top of the goal square.
Let's check out the Billings method here. Round he goes, and right through the middle. Something for the Saints to celebrate. The caretakers are going to register another victory. And it's Brett Ratten. Remember the journey of Brett Ratten. Fine player he was with the Blues. He started his assistant career with the D's. He got a chance to run his own team at Norwood. And then to the Blues as an assistant first. Took over Dennis Pagan. Of course, took them into finals. And then parted company after being under Alistair Clarkson. And found himself at St Kilda this year. And now replacing Alan Richardson.
Are they holding back as assistant coaches? Because what we're seeing as senior coaches is a different style. Obviously couldn't get the message completely through in a style that might work.
Yeah, I told you so.
Yeah,
That's what I was saying.
It's crazy.
Hunter. Savage comes out just straight to the ball. Carlisle. Bailey Dale This might come back for a fourth.
He's had a good afternoon, Bailey Dale. (13 disposals, 4 goals. And this is a pretty crafty effort in the end. Norton makes the contest. Carlisle just gives it up there, trying to get it away. Bailey Smith has fought extremely hard for 4 quarters today.
Did well, Bailey Smith. He has 3 blokes hanging onto him here, and he just wants still able to get rid of the footy.
A little bit of push and shove going on between Loney and Johannesson. Marshall the tap. McRae, Caleb Daniel, out wide for Lipinski. Rushes it in. Man, who's red hot at the moment. Bailey Dale.
He's got to have a shot.
He can't waste too much time, though.
No.
Just to cut the margin to 20 points. Just to sow the seeds of doubt.
He's flushed it.
Oh, he has. He's kicked 5. Bailey Dale, come on down. And it's back to 20 points. 4 goals in 3 minutes and 18 seconds. Perfect football from here, and you never know.
Well, that's what is required. You clear out the 50 for Bailey Dale at the moment. Just leave him with a direct matchup that he's got.
The Saints raising the stakes in the celebrity action.
Wow.
They're at banner. There's the counter.
It's been a big day.
And there's Borney.
Star-studded. Yes. All the stars, and then you got Joey.
Sarah is loaded. For Instagram followers, Liam Hensworth has 13 million and Warney only 1. Out of the middle, Trengove. All straight lines for the Dogs. Watch out for English. He couldn't take the mark. Dale. No, this time it's a clean getaway. And Trengove can't escape.
Great tackle from Sinclair.
19 precious seconds have gone.
Yeah, and you have to say the St Kilda defenders here, the Saints supporters, just tighten up a little bit. So Hunter Clark was a little bit loose on that last entry. Savage got let up on.
Crowd trying to play their part and make sure the Saints get home. Bontempelli, a wandering ball, hard to take from Crozier. He went to ground, a fatal error, not that it was easy. Parker, and the Saints get control of the footy, and that's what it's about now for Hunter Clark. Equal career best numbers for him. Sinclair was waiting till Bruce was on his feet. He's on his feet, the goal is there. Tim Membry. So any flutters will pass now. Membry takes the mark. And the Saints can enjoy this one proper. And
Jason,
properly.
stay out. That's your line, Tim. Jason, 2 more metres back. Thank you. 15 gone.
Back amongst the goals today after he goalless last week. Tim Membry, his 4th coming up. Joining Jack Loney. All surpassed by Bailey Dale at the other end, who's kicked 5 and Dixon's kicked 4. So it's great in a game when you actually get a whole lot of different multiple goal kickers. And that is that. The Saints are going to win under Brett Ratten.
It's been a great afternoon of football, and St Kilda started so well with 6 goals 5 in the first quarter out of the blocks, and been able to maintain that margin pretty much for the entire day. But they haven't stopped with trying to score, which has been great for the game, great for the spectacle of the game as well, Roo.
Yeah. Love Hunter Clark off half-back again there. He had the option to keep coming wide with the footy, but just straightened up, had the 2v1 down the line, and Sinclair and Bruce. And quite often just be such a good position for a young player learning the game. He's taken another big step forward today, Hunter Clark.
So we know it's not always about goals, but it is refreshing to have a high-scoring game. There's a push. And we're going to see another possible scoring opportunity coming up for Jack Newnes.
Jack. Jack, that's your line.
One more of that defensive forward role.
Yeah, I'm trying to... He's only had the 7 disposals, kicked the goal, though.
Goes back a long way. Direct opponent Johannesson on the mark. For their 18th goal of the day, unfortunately, not to be there.
That's what we've got.
7 players throughout the game, Hutto, with 2 or more goals. So that's what you're talking about there. The fluctuations from both teams, but it's been great.
Suckling all the way back into the middle.
Play on.
Caulfield. Oh, that was great courage from Caleb Daniel. Suckling not holding back that time, but it's a bit of kick-to-kick action. Caulfield again. 20 possession game from Nick Caulfield today too. Off to Hunter Clark, and he's a career best now, 26. McRae. Back to Tringove, and Caulfield is there, battling on. Liberatore. Got a half-acre block there and tackle. And we're down to the last 13 seconds. Quick smother. Back to Bontempelli. There was a question mark over his fitness coming in. He hasn't had the greatest of days, but as we said, Jack Steele has another victim. And the Saints are going to win. Brett Ratten finds a way to get the Saints back on the winners list. The change produces their 7th victory of the year. An entertaining affair. And Brett Ratten remembers what it's like to be in charge in the box. And he gets a first-up win. And the smiles spread around the Saints. They get home by 27 points. And that man, Jack Loney, kicked 3 to get it going. And a great team performance. And the Dogs stumble on their efforts to make the September action.
Super impressed by the Saints today, Hutto, in what they were able to produce collectively as a group from the start of the game right through for under 20 minutes.
Let's get down to Sarah Jones.
Jack, congratulations. You break a 4-game losing streak on a really significant week for the club. How are you feeling?
Yeah, obviously really relieved. Awesome to come out today after a massive week, and a lot of change obviously has happened, but the way the boys came out just played full of spirit and a lot of emotion, and hopefully we can continue it for the rest of the season.
How tough was it parting ways with Richo?
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult. A lot of us have, had him as our coach for the whole time, so it's all a bit strange. And I guess at the end of the day, we're the ones that go out there, so we need to be better, and that's what we're going to look to do moving forward.
A massive result for Brett Ratten. What kind of a coach was he during the week?
He's pretty relaxed. Obviously can't really change too much, and just really backed us in today, and it was great.
Forward line efficiency was so crucial today, and you scored over 100 points for the first time this season. How much can you keep that going as you head towards the second half of the year? Yeah,
it was really nice to kick straight today. Obviously we just got to keep working on it. Worked for us today, and you just got to keep chipping away, and hopefully it turns around. And today showed that once we kick straight, we got some good footy. So that's the aim.
Would you like to see Rats get the gig full time?
Yeah, I hope so. If we keep winning like this, it'll be great.
Well done.
Cheers.